Guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a very simple and basic granny square with a bonus half double crochet trim. I have been doing a half double crochet trim on my granny squares lately because I feel like it gives it something different, and it also makes the squares easier to join for my projects. But you definitely don't have to do the trim. So let's just get started with our very basic granny square. First, you're going to want to attach your yarn to your hook. Most people, I think, do a slip knot. I never learned how to do the slip knot. I promise I will try and learn, as it looks a lot cleaner and neater. But if you're like me, just go ahead and tie your yarn onto your hook. Then we are going to chain 5, and we are going to slip stitch back to the first chain to create a little circle. Now that we have our circle made, we are going to chain 3, and that will act as our first double crochet. The granny square is made up of double crochet stitches and chain stitches, so it's very simple. So go ahead and chain 3, and then go ahead and do 2 double crochets back into the circle. If you don't know how to do a double crochet, that's not an issue. I also have a how-to on how to do that stitch, so go ahead and watch that video first and then come back to this one. So now that we have our first little cluster made, which is made up of 3 double crochets, we are going to simply chain 2, and then we are going to do 3 more double crochets back into the circle. So now that we've done 1 cluster, 2 chains, and another cluster, you'll start to notice that the chain 2 spaces are going to form your corners. So once again, after that second cluster, go ahead and chain another 2, and then do 3 more double crochets back into the circle. And at this point, you guessed it, we're going to do another 2 chains and then 3 double crochets back into the circle. So with this 4th cluster made, this is the last cluster in this round, go ahead and chain 2, and you're going to attach it to the top of the chain 3 from the first cluster with a slip stitch. Now I'm going to show you how to do a second round of a granny square. We're going to want to get to that first chain 2 space, so go ahead and slip stitch over the next 2 stitches and into that corner. Now that we're in that chain 2 space, go ahead and chain 3 just like we did in the first round for our first double crochet 2 more into that space, chain 2, 3 more double crochets. So in this chain 2 space and in every other chain 2 space, there will be 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets to form those corners. So as I mentioned, this is our corner and what it looks like in the chain 2 space. Go ahead and repeat this step in all of the other corners. So now we are at the end of round 2. Go ahead and slip stitch back to the top of that first chain 3 to close off that round, and then you can also slip stitch into that corner space just like we did in the previous round. So for these corner spaces, we are going to be continuing the same pattern. It is the chain 3 for the first double crochet only to total 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in those corner spaces. The only difference with this round is that we have some new spaces that we're going to be working in. So go ahead and work this corner, and then we will work on the next empty space. So now if you notice, we do have this little empty space to work on in this round in between the corners, which is new. So all we're going to do is put 3 double crochets in that space, and then you'll continue working into the next corner. So granny squares are super simple. Like I mentioned, the corner spaces are all work the same, and these little empty spaces in between the stitches are also work the same. So granny squares will be made up of corners and then these little spaces. So once again, we've reached the end of this round. Go ahead and slip stitch to the top of that chain 3, and go ahead and close that round. Now I'm going to show you our trim, but for now, if you just wanted to do the granny square, this is what it looks like, and you can keep going up in the amount of rows that you do. You can literally make granny squares as big or as small as you'd like. So this is what our granny squares look like, and if you'd like to stay for the bonus trim, go ahead and wait for the next part of this video. So if you're still with me at this point of the video, we are going to do that really simple half double crochet trim. Like I mentioned, I love this because it makes joining the squares so much easier than granny square. Sometimes if you don't block your granny squares, they can come out crooked when you join them and things like that, which is why I like this half double crochet trim. So all I'm going to do from that slip stitch is just chain one, half double crochet back into that same space. You don't need to slip stitch over to the corners or anything like that. So it'll be one half double crochet per double crochet, and when you get to this corner space, you're going to do one half double crochet, a chain two, and another half double crochet, and then continue half double crocheting one per each stitch. So just a quick recap, we are only doing one half double crochet per double crochet, and that corner space will be half double crochet, chain two, half double crochet. Thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end of this video with me. I'm so glad you guys worked this granny square, and I hope you like that little extra bonus trim. Please stay tuned for my next video.